when you're watching Deadpool and Wolverine, this movie is fan service galore. You know what I mean? I think that there was so much hype around this movie. Let's start from like when they first announced it. I think they announced it in like 2022. They were like, "Yeah, we're gonna do a Deadpool and Wolverine movie, and we're bringing back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine." And immediately, I was just like, "Why are they announcing this so soon?" Like, I don't know why they do that. I don't know why movies announce that, like, "Hey, we're gonna be coming out with a movie that's like really exciting and really cool, but we're gonna announce it like a year early." And it's like, well, why can't you like announce that the movie is coming out like, I don't know, like a month before the movie comes out? Like, does that not make sense? You know what I'm saying? But I understand, you know what I mean? The set photos would have leaked, or somebody, paparazzi or whatever, would have got photos like they did. They got photos of Hugh Jackman in the Wolverine costume and Ryan Reynolds in the Deadpool costume and stuff. So I feel like that was their only chance of like, hey, we're going to be shooting this movie together. Kind of just like getting them already pushing that out there, you know what I mean? So that way when the photos reveal, it's not like somebody breaks the story that like, oh, they're working together. It's like, yeah, they announced it and they're working on it, and you know what I mean? Because there's always going to have problems with that, you know, and that's not fair. That's wrong. And I think it was also just like, I don't know, there's no build up, you know what I mean? It's like they gave 2 years beforehand, before the movie, and it's just like, then we had nothing. And then 2023, I think they were like filming it. And then 2024 was the actual push and the release of it. And man, dude, this movie is so much fun. I think that, you know, because it's been out for so long, or like, it gets to like, you kind of get bored of it, or like, I don't know, what's the right word? When you overconsume something, like if you eat only one thing every single day, eventually I think you'll get bored of it, and then another food comes along and you're like, ooh, that looks interesting. I want to try that. You know what I mean? It's like, this movie is really fun, but you watch it too many times and it's just like, all the humor starts to be like, oh yeah, that was a good joke. Like, you stop laughing at it, or you stop like taking it in. And so that's why I like that. Since I watched it in theaters, I haven't seen it since. And I mean, it's fun. What can I say? This movie isn't like the greatest Marvel movie ever, but it's also like rated R. There's blood, great action. They got Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. Deadpool and him are going on adventures and fighting. They got like The Void. They had Cassandra Nova in there. They brought Chris Evans back as the Human Torch. They got Jennifer Garner as Elektra. Wesley Snipes as Blade, which is a cool like turn, 360 for like, I mean, it's like it all comes back around for Ryan Reynolds, because like they worked together on Blade Trinity, and to have him brought back is really cool. I thought it was really funny that they got Channing Tatum in there. I was like, whoa, because he was supposed to have like this Gambit movie that never happened, and he was just like, yo, screw Marvel. That's Channing Tatum was literally like before this movie was made, he was like talking like, I hate Marvel. I can't watch any of those movies. They were supposed to make me Gambit, and then they didn't even make me Gambit. They just completely put that on the back end, and it just never ended up happening. And then Ryan Reynolds was like, let's put you in a movie, and let's just say that like you never knew what universe you came from, or where you were going to be born, or whatnot. And so stuff like that. And they brought Daphne Keane as well, who was X-23, Logan's daughter, I guess. And I thought that was really cool that they brought her back and everybody was back in it. It's just really awesome to see how much of it was kind of like, hey, we're bringing everybody back into it, you know? I thought that was cool. And so throughout the movie, the plot isn't really that hard. Deadpool just wants to save his universe. He finds himself with the TVA. He finds out about the Void, and then he has to escape the Void to go back to the TVA to stop the Time Ripper from destroying his universe and stuff like that. It's not all that complicated. there's a lot of exposition dumping, and there's a lot of like, I don't know, I guess pauses for humorous effect. But for the most part, I feel like this movie does a pretty good job of like dealing with what they're trying to do or like what they're working towards, and then making it lighthearted and action packed and comedy. I don't know, man. It's one of those movies where it's just like they know what they're trying to do and they're doing it well. It's literally just Deadpool and Wolverine on an adventure to like save the universe, to save his universe, Deadpool's universe, and whatnot. And that's crazy, and that's really crazy. And it's not so much like to be taken seriously as much as it is just to have fun and go along for the ride, you know what I mean? And I don't feel like it diminishes what Hugh Jackman has built or made over the past, like, with his past movie, Logan. Like, that was his final hoorah, and I liked it. I thought that was a good final ending to the character. And the fact that they brought him back, while I was initially like, oh, but that kind of ruins it. When I watched the movie, I was just like, who cares? It's Hugh Jackman. They nailed it, you know what I mean? I thought it was so cool. And there were so many things that I was just like, I wanted more. You know what I mean? I wanted to see more Wolverine versus Hulk. I wanted to see more Wolverine failing his universe. You know what I mean? I wanted to see more of everything. You know what I mean? There's still so much inside of him. And it's crazy, It's crazy how much is inside of him. But Hugh Jackman does just an incredible job. I mean, his character is just like, he knows it. He knows it. It's not difficult work for him. It's not like he has to like, oh, I got to find a way to get deeper into this. It's like, no, he already knows what the character is. He knows how to get in touch with his low side. You know what I mean? How to deal with failure, And Ryan Reynolds just does a great job as Deadpool. I mean, it's one of those moments where it's like, the characters together would be, it's crazy that the characters are together. And it's like, what if we put the angriest guy at his lowest point, at his worst time, with Deadpool, who's also trying to like save his universe and whatever. You know what I mean? It is just fan service. You know what I mean? That's all it is. And they do such a great job. And I don't know. I think that the movie isn't to be like, it's not so you can just, it's not just another like Deadpool movie, or it's just like, I don't know, what's the right word? It doesn't feel like they're trying to do anything that's like not right, It feels like they're doing things on a good note. It feels like they're doing things in good spirits, you know what I mean? They're doing things for the right reasons, or they're trying to do things for the right reasons, It's fun. It's nice to see how this is kind of like these characters are good together, and this is our time to like put it in people's faces and see it happen, I think that's a really cool part about it. As for future cameos, or having them come back into the like fold of it all, I don't know, man. I would be really excited, but like, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for like Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know what'll happen for them in their universe and how it all fits back in, you know what I mean? But I'm really interested to see what could happen in the future for these characters. I don't know if, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman would be up for it again. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you can, you probably should, you know what I mean? But it's all, has to fold into the to the mix. And so many relationships, you know what I mean? It's like Ryan Reynolds had to build up to this point, you know? He had to build up to having Chris Evans come back, having Jennifer Garner come back, maybe talking to Mark Ruffalo about doing the Hulk bit, you know, Wesley Snipes, Daphne Keane, Channing Tatum, right? Like, he worked with them, and now being able to, like, have them a part of things, or to bring them back in, or to have fun, like, hey, let's do a movie together. I have this idea for Gambit. You can come in and join the fun, you know what I mean? All of that stuff is really, it's really interesting, and it's really cool to see how he's built up to this. You know, he's built up all of his friendships and personal relationships and professional relationships with people, so that way he could get up to this moment, you know? It's the Adam Project, I think, is it Free Guy, that video game one? I mean, obviously the Blade movies. Is there another movie? I mean, I don't think he's worked with Hugh Jackman besides this movie. I mean, they're just friends. You know what I mean? They're just friends. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all just coming back into the fold, I guess, and it's just really cool to see how it's all interconnected and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, the start of the movie, I really like how they played on Hugh Jackman, or Wolverine's death in Logan, and how he used his adamantium body to fight the TVA. I thought that was hilarious. When I saw it in theaters, I had one of those motion seats. You know, the ones that it's like where they throw a punch and and the chair moves and it's like, oh, you could feel the punch. Or if like the boat is moving on the water, you can feel the chair moving to the motion of the boat. It's like, whoa, it's really getting crazy. You know, I had that on. I had one of those seats, and feeling the vibrations of like the punches and the stabs and the cuts and the kicks and the slices and all of it is like, it was a really good part of the experience. It was kind of like fun to feel like, oh snap, he's getting hit and he's fighting and he's doing this, you know, all this crazy stuff. And I thought it was really, really funny how he just kind of like used all of his body parts to kill the TVA members. And I don't know, man. I feel like it destroyed, like, I mean, I don't feel like it destroyed the legacy of it, but it was also kind of just like, hey, I know we kind of finished telling this guy's story, but we're going to we're going to mess up his corpse and just destroy everything that it once was and make a joke out of it, you know? I thought that was pretty funny. And so after that, we get a flashback about how he knows that his universe is going to be messed up and destroyed and whatnot. And trying to find a replacement anchor being, trying to find a replacement Wolverine for his universe. And if he does it, everything will be right as rain again. So I really like that montage of like seeing all the all the alternate versions of Wolverine. I thought it was really cool homage to the comics and like the certain stuff. I just wish we got more Wolverine versus the Hulk. It's like, it's so crazy we couldn't get more. I wanted so much more. I needed to see more, you know what I mean? But who knows? What else is there? I would say, oh yes, the Cavalrine. Oh my gosh, that was wild. And I'm just like, how could they? I thought that was so funny. I was like, dude, this is crazy. I don't even know how they, what was the pitch? I mean, I guess it's pretty easy, huh? We want you to be a an alternate version of Wolverine, huh? Oh man, that's just so crazy that they asked him to do it and he actually did it. Oh, that's insane, dude. I honestly don't hate the casting. You know what I mean? I think he looks the part. It definitely like he's definitely buffed out to play the part. You know what I'm saying? Um, I just oh man, it's so fun. I haven't heard Henry Cavill talk about it at all. So I kind of want to know what he thought about it. It was like, yeah, man, it was a cool opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's so funny. What else is there? Um, yeah, I already talked about the montage, the Wolverine montage. I mean, and then finding the worst Logan, the worst Wolverine. It's always the bar setting. The bar setting really does it, huh? The bar setting is really cool. I honestly think it would have been crazy if they did like the original bar that we saw him in like the first X-Men movie. Although I guess I can't remember if it was or wasn't. But he's always in a bar having another drink or smoking a cigar and whatnot. So I thought it was pretty funny to see him back at it again. And then Deadpool comes in and is just like, "Yo, we got to get out of here." And so then Deadpool kind of like gets Wolverine to the TVA, and then the TVA laughs in his face, saying he can't replace an anchor being. So his universe is doomed, and he sends him and Wolverine to the void, and there we get Deadpool versus Wolverine, huh? I thought that scene was so cool. It really was so cool to see Deadpool and Wolverine fight each other that first time, just like seeing them put all of their skills and their abilities to use, watching Wolverine claw and stay low to the ground, watching him pull out his claws, and then Deadpool using his katanas. Crazy. I also thought that what was it, the 20th Century Fox logo in the background in the void dead. I thought that was funny. That was a good bit. And it was just cool to see how two people who break their bones, who like get shot and stabbed and like hurt really badly, how they can just take the bullets and then get back up and keep on going. You know what I mean? Obviously they feel the pain, but like they hang in there. You know what I mean? Their regenerative abilities make them so interesting to watch and see how like one hurts the other and the blood and gore of it all. You know, that's just what makes it so fun. And so they fight. And then the people from the Void, obviously, for Cassandra Nova come over. And then they had Sabretooth in there. And Sabretooth was killed in like one slash. I thought that was so weak. But because I definitely wanted to see more. But, you know, obviously they can't do it. There was already so much action and so much stuff in the movie. I guess it was just too much to pile on, and I guess all of that action for what? Just to prove that Wolverine was going to beat him anyways? You know what I mean? I don't know. They also showed the Human Torch versus Pyro, and it's funny because it's like, you know, it's been speculation over like the superhero like power scaling or whatnot. It's like Pyro can control fire, so he could control the Human Torch once he goes flame on. You know what I mean? So, of course. And then what else is there? They get taken to the Cassandra Nova. Oh, and Chris Evans is like talking bad about Cassandra Nova, and then Deadpool repeats it, and then he gets killed. I also thought that Emma Corrin did a great job as Cassandra Nova. I thought it was really cool to see how she like had her fingers in their head, you know what I mean? It was like brushing around their skulls and whatnot. It was so creepy and so cool at the same time. And it was so different, and I thought that it really like it was cool for her character, you know what I mean? And then obviously they escape the void, and then they meet Nice Pool and the dog. Dog Pool. Dog Pool was adorable. I thought it was so, I mean, it's ugly in like a cute way, you know what I mean? In the kind of way that like makes it feel so special and so like loved, you know what I mean? And then all of the other, variants I talked about before with Gambit and Blade and stuff. I like that part where they were all introducing themselves and like coming out of the shadows and walking, that slow-mo push. I thought that was really funny. And then what else is there? Oh yes, Deadpool and Wolverine fighting again for the second time in the car in the Honda Odyssey. I thought that was so funny because it all just kind of feels like they needed to get it out of their system, you know what I mean? Fight until you can't fight anymore, and then you're kind of left with just like, what's next for us, you know? Which is kind of like a good message for everything, you know? That coexist sticker was a bit on the nose, you know what I mean? But it's like they had to get it out of their system or whatever. So they fight, they meet the other variants, they make a plan to go after the Void and get away out of there and to save their universes and whatnot. So then they go back to the Void, they fight, Deadpool and Wolverine confront Cassandra Nova, and then after they confront her, they take a Doctor Strange portal back to Deadpool's universe. And then that's when they have to fight all the other Deadpool variants, like Kid Pool, Lady Pool, Samurai Deadpool, like all of just the zombie Deadpool. Like they just have to fight a bunch of Deadpool variants. And then we get to see, oh, Nice Pool dies. That was crazy. Dog Pool comes back. Wolverine puts on his mask. For the first time. I don't think we've ever seen him with the mask. Have we? No, we haven't seen him with the mask. Him with the mask was crazy. That was crazy. That was above and beyond crazy. He looked so good too. And then obviously they fight all the Deadpool variants and whatnot, which was really cool. Very bloody, very gory. And then they all get distracted by Peter and his Deadpool suit. I thought that was so funny. He had like he was wearing the Deadpool suit that Deadpool was supposed to wear. He just put it on and you can see his like stomach poking out, and then everybody's like, hell yeah, Peter, and everybody's like, woo! So then Deadpool and Wolverine have to go stop the Time Ripper and Cassandra Nova from destroying all like universes and whatnot. And then the real TVA steps up and tries to like help them and fight off the stuff that they're doing wrong over there. And then I think Deadpool's like going to sacrifice himself, and then Wolverine and Deadpool are like holding on, trying to connect and form a bridge of like the matter and antimatter or whatever it's called, and they explode and they sacrifice themselves for the universe. But they turned out to be alive, and then they walk away from it. I thought that was really funny. And then, yeah, that's where it ends, you know? Deadpool and Wolverine finally together. Wolverine living in his universe now. And friendship, you know? Unity. And I just thought that was a pretty cool way to end the movie. I I forget what the mid-credit scene was. Was it something important? I don't think it was, but maybe it was. I don't know, dude. What was it? I don't think it was anything important. I just know that the last end credit scene was Chris Evans as the Human Torch saying everything that Deadpool said. You know what I mean? And then he was just like, I told you he said that. Got you. What else is there? I think that's it. And then, throughout the whole movie, there were cocaine references, pegging references, jokes, stuff like that, all of that good stuff. Fourth wall breaks, I thought was really good. Overall, the whole movie, in my opinion, was really fun. It was action-packed. I didn't really take it too seriously. Is it my favorite Marvel movie? No, but it's definitely some fan service. It's fun. It knows what it is and does it well, It's just really cool to see all of those characters come back and do something, So it feels like a tidy little, goodbye to the 20th Century Fox days, So anyways, with all of that, when you're watching Deadpool and Wolverine, just have fun with it. That's all it's all about. It's all about just, taking in the joy of seeing Deadpool and Wolverine on the screen together and being a part of the MCU for the first time and having their characters, working together and building up towards something, I think is really, really cool. And yeah, I really don't know what else to say after that. I think that more often than not, with all of the multiverse stories happening, this one was kind of a lot more centered on fun and just making the characters fight for something or show off a bit as opposed to having to really be a part of the plot or just show off or because with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, it was Reed Richards didn't really do anything. Professor Xavier kind of did something, but he didn't. You know what I mean? All of those characters were kind of killed off, you know what I mean? And kind of obviously there were variants, but it was more so shock factor. It was oh, cool cameo. And then they died, Whereas in this movie, it was I don't know, there was all kinds of fun and personal relationships and everybody had a little moment, So I thought that was cool. But anyways, fun movie. Enjoy the movie. Action-packed. Don't take it too seriously. And the rewatchability factor on the fights and everybody working together and some of the jokes it's really high. So enjoy it. I know it's fun. So with all of that, go watch it if you haven't seen it. If you haven't watched any of the other Deadpool movies, I recommend maybe watching those first. Watch Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, and then you can get to Deadpool and Wolverine, and it'll all make sense, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.